Today, the moon enters Leo, so we get a little bit more of that outward expressive energy from where we've been with that sensitivity of the moon in Cancer and attending to our deeper needs and tending to our inner child. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Wednesday, June 17th. As the moon goes into Leo, we have Venus at 4 degrees Leo. So throughout the day, the moon will head into and join up with Venus at 4 degrees Leo, which is a very potent point right now. It is Venus right now forming a sextile with Uranus, which is in a sextile with Neptune, which is in a sextile with Pluto. So really cool outer planet sextiles that with Venus now forming a cradle formation that the moon will join up with as well. So kind of some abundant energy, some really lovely energy of that Venus Leo expression, and Venus and the moon in that fourth point of that six-pointed star. And in fact, I'm going to be talking in my next podcast episode more about that cradle, and especially as it intensifies in July with Jupiter moving into 4 degrees Leo. So very exciting stuff. These are outer planet alignments that unfold for years. We're kind of in the middle of this long-term alignment going from 2024 to 2029. But it's extra intense this summer as Jupiter moves into that fourth point. So I'm going to talk more about that in my upcoming podcast episode. Watch for that on Sunday, June 21st. And for today, though, we have this kind of mini activation of this formation with Venus in this fourth point of the six-pointed star. The outer planets Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus forming the first 3 points. And 4 degrees Leo is really a significant placement right now. So there's so much to say. So first of all, Venus is in Leo, and Venus is the planet of beauty and harmony and how we receive. Venus has a very receptive quality. So how we receive the energy of the earth and the beauty around us through our senses, through our capacity to experience beauty and pleasure. So Venus in Leo activating our ability to experience beauty and pleasure in Leo, this outward, expressive, jubilant kind of sign. So Leo likes to be the center of attention. So this beauty and harmony and thinking about our values and what we care about, what matters to us, and our ability to share that through shining our light, through sharing our voice, our thoughts, our truth, putting things into art. And we are communicating right now with Mercury in Cancer, where we're vulnerable, right? That's where it gets real, where we feel vulnerable. So putting that into words, but not only verbal communication, also, of course, other ways of communicating. So nonverbal communication, but also how we communicate through art and in more abstract ways. So this Venus in Leo energy is about sharing beauty, but also remembering that there's not only one way to communicate our deeper truth. And so finding ways to share that authentically and to share vulnerably from that deeper place of authenticity and truth, because that's where we care, right? What we care about, what matters to us, is what makes us feel that vulnerability. Like, I don't, it could be a little bit intimidating to say something you really care about because it really matters to you. And so we're finding the ways to express those kinds of things with this Venus in Leo, Moon joining Venus in Leo with Mercury in Cancer and Jupiter in Cancer. So lots of feeling, lots of that deeper, what matters? What do we care about? What do we really want at that deeper level? And the cradle energy, so this is about the alignments, about the relationship between the planets and how those planets are talking to each other, which is in a sextile. Trines and sextiles um is a supportive, easy flow of energy. So we have this flow, we have this feeling of things opening up, of open doors. And so finding our voice, finding our expression, finding how we share, whether it's through art or language or presence or whatever that looks like in your life. So whether it is just having an authentic conversation and sharing with your partner or a close friend, or whether it is finding your voice to share with your community or many people or people at your workplace or whatever that may be. It's that ability to speak your truth from that place of what you really actually care about, and there's support for that. And it's being put into outward expression and shared in ways that can potentially make an impact when others listen. And so that energy of being heard, being listened to is here. And the question is, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to share? How are you going to share? Are you going to be vulnerable? Are you going to connect from that place of what really matters to you? And finding the people, right? The audience and the people who need to hear it, first of all, but also are ready to hear what you have to say. So, there's no point really in, screaming from the rooftops to people who aren't ready to listen, who, who aren't even ready to hear or understand what you're saying. And maybe they need to hear it anyway. I don't know, right? But anyway, the point is that there's this opening feeling of finding your audience, finding your people, saying what you need to say, and having that experience of being heard. But also, it could just be a personal process of putting some art on, doing some journaling or writing or doing whatever is your way of expressing the feelings and the truth inside and what you care about, and maybe sharing it when you're ready. So thank you for being here. I am Marina Orms. You can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com. My podcast is called Astrology Heals, and my member program, Manifesting with Moon Cycles, is available at transformationalastrology.com. If you're not ready to join a member program, I do have free levels available at transformationalastrology.com. So check that out. And thank you for being here and subscribing to this YouTube channel. I will see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.